His name is Gareth, and he riffs bits. His name is Gareth, hence why it's Gareth's. His name is Gareth.
Good evening. Hello, this is Gareth's improvised stand-up comedy. The way this works is people send in suggestions that I haven't seen, and I riff on them for your pleasure. My name is Gareth. I riff. It's Gareth's. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe by hitting the little fucking bell. Hit the bell, although it looks like Instagram is damaging the YouTube numbers. Couple things. Next week... Thursday next week, we have a live dollop, so we'll be doing a live dollop next Thursday. You can find tickets for that through, I can't remember who that's through. Looped Live, that's who it is, Looped Live. You can find those through Looped Live, just look up the dollop, or you can go to our socials. And that means that next week, Gareth's will be on Wednesday. So Gareth's next week, Wednesday. Also next Wednesday in the morning, we'll be doing inauguration coverage. So the dollop will be doing from 8:45 Pacific time. We will be doing inauguration coverage. And from what I understand, things are supposed to go very, very smoothly, so it's very exciting. Now, let's just get into it. All right, this brings us to our first segment, which is Riffs Just In. Every week, I riff on 3 crazy news stories picked up by my producer. Again, I have not seen them. Let's fucking get into it. Police mistaken for stripper as they raid swinger party. I mean, get the fuck... That is like that's a set piece from a National Lampoon comedy. Police mistaken for strippers as they raid swinger party? That's how we should all, that is, you know what, we're dealing with a lot of shit, like how do you de-escalate these situations with the cops? The cops are so trigger happy and, you know, that's what we should do. From now on, I'm going to treat every cop like I think someone hired a stripper for me and just see how that goes. That's probably going to be better, you know, if a guy's just like, we saw you smoking a joint over there. I'm like, oh, did you? Well, let me see the bone you got in your pants, Officer McSexy. You know, he's like, get off of me, you know? I think that would just be a better way than just kind of being docile and being like, well, I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to be smoking pot where I wasn't supposed to. You know, instead try to take his pants off, right? Or just sit down and just be like, all right, come get it. Why don't you shoot all over me? And he's like, wait, what the fuck is going on? You're like, come on, give me it. Let me see the hard gun you got between your legs. You know, just really, I think that would diffuse. Knowing the demeanor of police officers the way I do, I'm very sure this plan will work and that they will be very cool and understanding. And, you know, I don't see myself getting shot in that situation. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, so, and by the way, that is even funnier to do if it's like one of those cops who's like 75 and like 40 pounds overweight, you know, who's just trying to make it to retirement. When he pulls you over, just be like, oh, I know what's going on here. Who hired you, Ted? Get the pants off. Let me see those nipples, Officer Sexy. You know? So there you go. So that's the first story. Second story, Bad Omen, Tower of London Raven missing, feared dead. What year is it, England? What year do you think it is, England? The time to have tower ravens is behind us. We have passed tower raven time, England. Like 1680. That's the fucking cutoff to have a tower raven. Come on, England. Get it together. Yes, well, you know how we judge. Every New Year, instead of having a ball drop, we release the raven from the tower. Like, what kind of... And he's missing. And because he's a fucking raven. He's a bird. He's like, yeah, fuck this. I don't want to just live in a tower. I have like, I enjoy nature. You know? That's good God. Only England would hold on to things that archaic. Tower of London Raven. Has anyone seen the Raven? What? Has anyone seen the what? The Raven. What? Just like a random raven? No. Our tower raven. We keep a tower raven up in our tower. In what tower? In the bell tower. Well, why do you keep it up there? Because that's what you do with a raven, my good boy. Well, where is he? Well, that's our question. He seems to have gone off. Well, he's a fucking bird. No, he's not. He's a tower raven. That raven belongs to the tower. What does a tower raven do? Does he look out? What is England expecting? Are they this country all of a sudden? If any country needs a tower raven, it's America. We need ravens. We need capital ravens. We need ravens in our capital. We need 100 ravens just all surrounding the capital in D.C. and apparently every state capital. So we need like 1,000 we need an army of tower ravens, okay? So England, terrible idea, super archaic. We're going to take it. Everything here's falling apart. Okay. And the last one is Lectern Thief's lawyer on explaining that incriminating photo, quote, "I'm not a magician." So there's so many pictures to, really find comedy in from the Capitol riot that, that's maybe, aside from the guy who was covered in fur, and paint, the guy who looked like Braveheart fucked an elk, aside from that guy who was dynamite, this is maybe my favorite guy, the guy who's got the speaker's podium under his arm like it's a Bose stereo and he's walking into a barbecue, but it's no, it's actually the speaker's podium from our government. And he's just walking out of the Capitol hey, yeah, I don't know what the fuck. He's just got a fucking lectern under his arm. And then you have to some lawyer has to represent him. What do you plead? Funny? Your Honor, in my client's defense, what he did was super funny. So, hope that's cool. Yeah, what a day. What an amazing day. What's amazing is how they were the dogs who caught the mailman. The people who went into the Capitol couldn't believe they were in the Capitol, and when they were in there, they didn't really know what to do. So they just did what any animal would do. They piss and shit everywhere, and then they just ruined a bunch of furniture. And it was basically if you walked into the Capitol and you had no frame of reference for what was going on, you would assume that they're training like a canine. You'd be like, oh, they're trying to get a dog. They're trying to get a dog trained in here. Look, there's poo all over the walls. Someone pissed everywhere. The lectern's been bitten through. So, looks like he's teething. All right. And that is the end of the topical news stories. Now we get into your suggestions, as I alluded to before. I've not seen these suggestions. These are submitted by you. If you'd like to submit a suggestion, please email garifslive@gmail.com, and then you'll get picked, hopefully. Braided beards. Yeah, weird look. Braided beards, weird, for sure. Yeah, I have a long beard, never thought of braiding, the idea of braiding it never came. You know what I mean? I just think, it just looks like you're growing a 6-year-old out of your face. You don't need pigtails on a beard, right? That's just it's not a normal look to just, you know what I mean? A beard is sort of just a grizzly, rugged, weird piece of facial hair. You don't braid, you braid pigtails. You braid your hair, little girls braid their hair. What kind of fucking grown man is walking around do you like my beard tails? It's yes, absolutely we do, Scar. Great beard tails. It looks good, doesn't it? That's so when I'm riding, they don't all blow in my face. I get one tail over here and one tail over there. You're like, yes, Scar. Unbelievable. Really looking good and normal. Absolutely. Very, very good. I feel like that's the move of a bald bearded guy when their goal is to just fully do a full flip. Just cut from here down and then do a full flip, have pigtails up here, and then just, I guess you move the mouth. I don't know. It's like that little thing that hair, facial hair game where you use a magnet and you move the hair onto the guy. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's a weird thing. They sell it in airports. I don't know how I know it, but it's for some reason before the internet there was a thing where you would have a little bald man, he'd have alopecia, and then you'd have your magnet pen and you'd slowly move little pieces of shaving over and on him, and you'd try to make him look decent, and that was a game. I remember playing it. I don't think you win, because if you moved it up, all the hair would drop off. So it was like a hair etch-a-sketch. Raisins and why they are the worst. Yeah, raisins do suck. I do not enjoy raisins. I've never, even when I was a kid, I never understood why people liked raisins. I could get behind raisins in Gorp, but I could never get behind raisins in anything else. If it was peanuts and raisins, it was like, yeah, because then you could make a little peanut sandwich with raisin meat. You know, when you were a little kid and you'd take like the 2 peanuts and then you'd put a raisin in there and you'd be like, I've got a pastrami sandwich. I'm a giant. But yeah, raisins in general, there's a few fruits and they're kind of around where they have like kind of like chunky like parts where I'm like, yeah, and I don't enjoy that. I don't enjoy like it's a chunk. I mean, if you really look at it, like raisins are dead grapes, right? You could have your living, vibrant grapes, delicious grapes, full of hydration and water. Or you could have grandpa grape, you know, grappa. Just the fucking grape is like, hello, I one time was a grape. And you're like, Jesus Christ, you've seen better days. You're like, do you want to eat me? I have no fluid in me and potentially just bones. And you're like, ugh, Jesus Christ. I always thought that with Raisin Bran. Like, every time I'd eat Raisin Bran, they'd be like, 2 scoops. I'd be like, can we make it a half? 2's a lot, crazy son in charge of Raisin Bran. He'd be like, I loaded the thing with raisins just how you like it. You're like, ugh, fuck. What a great combination. Hey, let's put some raisins in milk. Who thinks that's good? Yay! Fucking disgusting. Raisin Bran shouldn't even be sold anymore. We've far surpassed what Raisin Bran was like when people were eating just, when you just dump a cube of like wheat in a bowl and like pour milk on it, and then someone introduced raisins, you were like, ooh, egad, raisins. But now we don't need raisins. We've got crunch berries, for fuck's sake. Is this the Dark Ages? Ideal job for Jose. Fuck. I think, unfortunately, I've spoiled my pet to the point where he could not do I mean, if there was a way that we could get energy from sleep, or if there was a way to harness his desire to eat and use it as power, that would be an ideal job. Outside of that, I don't think there's anything that he is suited for in our world. I mean, unless you need like a professional almond hider, I don't think he's like, if you put an almond on the ground, 20 minutes, you won't know where the fuck that almond is. But I just don't think they've made a job for that yet. I don't think anyone's just like, did we fill the almond hider job position? I just don't think so. So I don't know. I think, Cuddle Buddy or almond hider. 3 dream sponsorships for me. Oh, fuck. Green Bay Packers, if they sponsored me, that would be amazing, right? If the Packers are like, you should be our brand representative, that'd be amazing. That's one right off the bat. Second one would be like a red wine. Like if a red wine wanted to sponsor me, that would be fantastic. Like if there's just like a company that was just like Malbec, or maybe it's a tie-in with the Packers. Maybe it's Malpac and it's like a tie-in. So those 2 brands have approached me at the same time. And a third dream sponsorship for me, I mean, mine are going to be, my mother's going to watch this and be disappointed because my first one I think of is weed. But I guess I can't do wine and weed and the Packers. It really shows you how grown up I've become. I don't know what my third sponsorship would be. Yeah, I guess it would be something I could give my mother. So I guess Nivea. From what I've learned with my time with my mother, it's Nivea. And if you can use Nivea cream, and when you use Nivea cream, the way you put it on, according to my mother, is you take a big goop and you go doop, 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 doop. That was how my mother always did it. I always remember catching my mother midway through moisturizing, and I'd walk into a room and she'd be about to do the rubbing in. But before she'd do the rubbing in, she'd be like, she'd just hit like her face chakra. She was like, doink, 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 doink. And I'd walk in and be like, you got tusks. And she'd be like, no, it's fine. It's just Nivea. Yes. People in their 20s acting like they're 70. Do they do that? I didn't know. I mean, shit. Look, you're going to have, I've been in my 70s since probably my 20s. So, but what do they do to act like they're 70? Do you mean just they're boring? Because if like people in their 20s are acting like they're 70, that means they're like incontinent and like dozing off a lot and just reading and looking at birds, you know, just pooping their diapers. Is that happening? Is that like a thing in Silver Lake or something? Where all the 20-year-olds are now 70s, like in walkers, just like using walkers, right? Just old motherfuckers. Everyone's got patches on their elbows. Hey, could I have a burrito? You're 20. Help me, young man. You know? I don't know. I've never seen that. All right, we're flying through. How's dry January going? Let me take my socks off and tell you. Dry January is going great. I love my dry January. It is, it's weird because it's pretty boring, but then this year it's kind of flying by. Time this year is so fucking weird. Time, like, last year felt like 6 weeks and 4 years. And then dry January normally goes really slow because it's so boring, but this one is kind of going quickly. So time is just fucking weird. But it's good. I get my cheat night. I do this. I designate a cheat night in my dry January. So I get one night in the month when I just can do whatever I want, you know. And that's next Thursday when we do the Dollop show. I'm going to have a couple drinks. So that'll be my night off. But yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it's weird. I have a lot of friends who do it now. You know, so it's easier. But the truth is, it's like, it's just the weirdest time to do anything like that. You know, it's a weird time to be drinking, right? Because you're alone most of the time. So you're like, there are people who are just like, I don't drink alone. And I'm like, I don't talk to people like you. Like, I don't understand. Like, to me, if you've not passed through the threshold of being like, I drink wine alone now and I'm okay with it this last year, I don't know what to tell you. You have great control, great self-control. I, on the other hand, what I did was, because I started to feel bad about drinking alone, I just put a bucket on a mop handle, and I put some googly eyes on it and a little mustache. And so when I feel like drinking, I just bring that thing out and set it beside me, you know, and then I just talk to that thing. And the best part is if I get hammered, I just throw up into his head. So it's a win-win, and I can mop with his legs. It's like a great situation I've come up with. But it's dry January, so, you know, it's a little weird. You drink a lot around the holidays. Even this year I drank a lot around the holidays, even though I'm not sure if the holidays happen. But I made like a vegan eggnog. I've never had eggnog before. There's a lot of stuff that I've just like missed, and eggnog was one of them. Like, I didn't have sake till I was like 30. And then I was like, holy shit, these Japanese people know what they're doing. But yeah, like this year that was eggnog. And eggnog is like the Rocky Balboa of cocktail. Like, you can fucking beat the eggnog with rum. Fill it with rum. And the eggnog's like, bad news, I'm still fucking delicious, right? So you could really go crazy. So that's why you needed a dry January. So to answer your question, dry January is going fantastically. Okay. Alien abductions. Okay. Well, I think they're real. I think they're like, the government has basically told us last year there are aliens. That it really just goes to show you how fucking lame we are. That like last year the government was basically like, so we filmed a number of unidentified objects in the sky. We don't know how they are able to go that speed at that trajectory at that angle. But it's certainly not of this planet. And we're just standing there like, did you see the new Taylor Swift video? And they're like, we're telling you there's aliens. And we're like, she is not dating anyone right now. Did you know that about Taylor Swift? And they're like, we're letting you know that we have had visitors on this planet from other planets. Did you see the dress that Taylor Swift wore at the Grammys? Like, listen to me, you fucking idiots. It doesn't matter about Taylor Swift, okay? There are other beings that share our galaxy, and they're coming here to visit. Did you ever watch this season of American Idol that Taylor Swift was originally on? Because she didn't look the same. So, was she even on American Idol? I don't know. Look, we're getting off fucking track here. There are aliens. I can't be within 100 feet of Taylor Swift. All right, this is over. This is over. Officially, this is over. But yeah, so they've been telling us all year that there's fucking aliens. And we were like, whatever. So the thing about alien abductions that always seems strange to me, it is kind of hacky, but it's just how quickly the aliens seem to go for the ass. Always struck me as a little bizarre that was... It maybe isn't the first thing they do. You know, I'm sure they bring you along the ship and they're like, this is the corridor 8 and this is where we hang some of this stuff. And here we move these things with our mind and these are brains that we're working on and these are other worldly beings you've never seen before and this is where you'll be staying. If you could actually just bend over on that table, we're going to jam a bunch of glowing rods up your anus. You're like, why? They're like, it's what we do. Is it a test of some kind? It's a test to see if you'll let us. So just get over there, drop trow, and really bend over, and don't be afraid to spread them, because we're going to, you know what I'm saying? It's sort of like King Arthur with the sword and the stone, but backwards. Who can get it in? The one who can't get it out, he's the king. Anyway, any who's'll be. Great planet you have down there. But, yeah, so it's strange, to say the least. Oh, shit. Oh, boy. I got Jose in frame. All right, that's a little... Jose's in frame for the live feed, so this tells you guys why you should watch this live. We've got little baby stalker back here. Hello. Okay. What a little savage. Why do people still climb Mount Everest? I don't know. At this point, I hope it's to pick up shit, because there's so much trash on Mount Everest. Like, only we could turn Mount Everest into a fucking landfill. You know, but people go up there and they just leave tons of stuff up there. They leave garbage. They just leave the stuff. But I don't know why people still climb it. I mean, it used to be quite a feat, obviously. Like, it used to be, and it still is. It still is a feat. But from what I understand now, there's so many, like, it's like this. I went and saw the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. And I wanted to go because it is, you know, blanching and going away. So I went there to go see it. And when we got there, in my head, I'm picturing like a really simple, like little boat. We go out, we snorkel around it. It's this boat and it's just got like a bar on it and you can buy a bunch of shit and all they do is sell things to put your camera in or your phone in. And it's like there's music, like, so you're out there and it's like, and I'm like, what the fuck? So we are like having a rave over the Great Barrier Reef while it's like, and we're like, yay, you know? And that's sort of like Mount Everest. It's like, it used to be amazing. And now it's just become this another thing that you just want to have your face in front of as your background. That's the only reason why people do shit anymore, really, is just to get the picture. Right? There's so little, like, actual experience where you do it because you're like, I want to do this for me. Like, it's like, no. You're like, I want to do it because when I get up there, I'll be like, you know? And so to climb Mount Everest now, like, most people take, you take, like, a guide up there and they, like, do most of it for you and carry most of your shit. So a lot of these rich people who climb Mount Everest aren't even climbing Mount Everest. They're just kind of getting dropped off up there and like, hey, Buffy, let's have some champagne, you know? But people just leave tons and tons of trash up there. But to answer your question, I don't know why people still climb Mount Everest. I don't know. I don't have the answer. But what a bunch of shitheads, huh? Alrighty. This is a great one. Leaving a job last 2 weeks at work. How great is that? That's the 2 week. They should make a movie called 2 Weeks Notice. Because, you got to give your 2 weeks. And normally when you give your like in my experience, it's quite a 2 weeks. You get senioritis big time. It doesn't matter anymore, like what bosses say to you. I remember one time when I was in high school, I guess it was probably the year before I was going to college, I was a busboy at a restaurant, and I gave him my 2 weeks. I was like, yeah, I'm leaving soon, so I gave him my 2 weeks, and then I think they wanted me to not be working hard. I had one conversation with a friend of mine, and they just came over and they were like, look, it's just ever since you gave your 2 weeks, it doesn't seem like your heart's been in it. And I'm like, you mean 2 days ago? It seems like my heart's not been in it. They're like, yeah, you were talking to a friend of yours for like 10 minutes. I was like, yeah, I saw a friend of mine I haven't seen. They're like, just doesn't feel like your heart's in it anymore. I was like, am I getting fired in my 2 weeks? And I kind of did. because it doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? You're a dead man walking. It's irrelevant. You can do whatever you want, right? The only thing better than the 2 weeks notice is having to get fired. If you have to get fired, that is the best thing in the world. Or choose to get fired if it's, it doesn't matter. But yeah, like the 2 weeks notice is very solid. You could do whatever you want. That's where you go to the bathroom and you're not even going number 2, but you just sit down for an hour, just like, whatever. I'll just go sit on a chair that's cold with my pants off. I'll just go sit naked on a chair for an hour just to kill some time. I remember in high school, someone told me once, like, if you go to the bathroom 5 minutes in a class, I don't remember what the number was, but they're like, you missed 2 months of school in high school. It was something like that. And I was like, what? And so every class I would go to the bathroom for 5 minutes. And my teachers would be nuts. Anytime they asked, I'd just be like, IBS. And they'd be like, oh, okay. But someone told me that factoid, and I was like, yes, please. Flying with a discount airline. Yeah, tough. It's tough. It's tough because when you fly with a discount airline, there's 2 people. There's the guy who makes the reservation, who's like, ooh, $287 instead of $330. Will do. Thank you, Spirit Airlines. And then there's the yous at the gate, and they're like, boarding group 91. You're like, what is this? What system is this? And they're like, for those of you in group 13, you don't forget you're going to have to cook the captain of the plane sandwiches. You're like, wait, what is going on? I one time got bumped up to first class in Spirit Airlines, and they just took me to coach on American. I was like, oh, this is not. But even when you get there, the first thing you do, they're like, do you know about our baggage fees? You're like, what are they? They're like, it's $150 a bag. You're like, fuck you! You save money, but then it's those little things. I remember Ryanair. Ryanair is like synonymous with the worst airlines, cheapest airlines. Ryanair is the one that's just like, do we need to have wings on it? And they're like, yes, you have to have wings on your plane. They're like, do we have to have someone in the cockpit? They're like, you absolutely have to have someone in the cockpit. So you're telling me we have to have someone in the cockpit and wings? And they're like, yes, you have to have both of those. But Ryanair wanted to be, they wanted standing airlines. They wanted like a bus. Like the little shuttle you take from terminal to terminal at the airport where you're like, this sucks. Ryanair was like, can that be our business model? Like that's what they wanted. You to stand. I mean, very quickly, people from like the FAA were like, no, you cannot have people fucking standing in your plane. They're like, it's tough. But they're like always working those angles. So those economic airlines at the end of the day, like, and again, I mean, you miss a lot of little shit. It's the legroom. I mean, even the good airlines, they're all shit. The legroom factor, it's like they have gotten it down to the follicle hair on my knee, where they're like, well, just shake. Like, it's just enough room for my knees to move. Just enough. And every year they're like, can we take it in a fucking millimeter? Can we take it in 1 fucking millimeter more? Can we smush those rows together? Can we take it in all 1 millimeter? If we do 1 millimeter, 1 millimeter, 1 millimeter, 1 millimeter, 1 millimeter, that's one more first class fucking seat. Like, they are fucking crackheads. The airline industry just loves money. That's why it's so stupid that the government bails out the airline industry, because all they care about is money. They keep investing in them. It's dumb. They do stock buybacks and all this bullshit. So fuck the airlines, but like I said, the only one I fly is Ryanair. It's my favorite airline to fly while standing, right? So just a good one. Great. It's fun to experience zero gravity. Ronald McDonald drunk at a Burger King drive-thru. Interesting. So this is a pimp, right? So I think it would go probably a little something like this. Hank. Welcome to Burger King. Can we take your order? Hey. Yeah, I got McNuggets. All right, look, Ronald, we're not gonna do this again. Why? What's the matter? I'll just take a little bit of breakfast, even though it's 4:45 p.m. Why are you so drunk at 4:45 p.m.? I had a thing. Okay, well, we actually don't serve breakfast all day here at Burger King. I don't. Because I tell you where they do sell it all day at Burger King. At McDonald's. A lot of that didn't make sense. But yeah, we know you do breakfast all day. That's right, fucking asshole. Hey, breakfast all day. You fucking bitch. All right, Ronald, do you want to order something that we have on the menu, or what are you looking for? Can you supersize me? We don't supersize here. Oh, I'd like something supersized. We can give you an extra large. That doesn't have a very good ring to it now, does it? All right, Ronald, look, there's a line forming. I don't know what else to tell you. We had a lot of fun. Happy Meal, 2 of them. Mr. McDonald. We don't have Happy Meals here. Oh, no wonder I'm so fucking miserable. All right, 2 apple pies. That'd be good. We don't have. You fucking losers. So you go. Ronald McDonald, drunk at a Burger King drive-thru. Best TV show theme songs. Shit, there's some real good ones. That's one of the things I do not like about Netflix is how they got rid of the intros to shows. I like those. Gives you a little prepper, you know? Gives you a minute, you know? Oh, it's exciting. It's happening. Instead, you can skip the intro. Some people work very hard to let you know who's in this show, right? That's one of my favorite things about being a writer on TV shows is when they do the very fast credits at the end, you know? Like, at the end, you'll be like, there I am! You know, like, they're like, let's get through it. But, yeah, I would say there's so many good ones. Facts of Life comes to mind. A Full House had a good one. Whatever happened to predictability? Why does that guy sound drunk who sings the Full House theme? Whatever happened to predictability? They're like, Ronald, get out of the drive-thru. Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paperboy, their meals aren't happy. Ronald, go. Gilligan's Island is a classic one, right? Because that's a great thing. When you write a television pilot, like the one script for a show, it's very hard to get out all the facts and the exposition. Gilligan's Island was like, just sit right back and we'll tell you every fucking thing to know. That's all you gotta know. Now let's do the show, right? Like they were just like, you know, let's sit right back here, a tale of a faithful ship. Do. You know, it sticks in your head. As you can tell, I would never forget the words to it. I liked Welcome Back, Kotter a lot. Like when I was a kid, I used to watch that. Welcome Back. And then, who was it? What the fuck is his name? Mace. Then Mace decided to do like his Welcome Back song. And I was like, Mace, I think it's good that you left. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I mean, it's any of those Miller Boyette ones where they're like, you know, they give you like a little, yeah. Oh, what was Family Matters? That was a good one too. How the fuck did that go? I can't. Oh, Laverne and Shirley. We're gonna do it, right? That was a Milwaukee shout out. Happy Days. Sunday, Monday, happy. Stupid. What am I doing? I feel like I'm 85. Holding Little Babies. This is a great one. Yeah, I never understand. What the fuck? Why? I never get that. First of all, I never understand why do I have to come and see the baby so early? The baby's. How about this? If until the baby's head can get touched kind of hard, I don't need to be there, right? I don't need to be there when it's just like a little, like it looks just like someone spilled pink juice and there's just like a couple of blinking eyes in it, you know? Just sitting there with just like wrapped up. And it's not here. It's not present. The child is not present. The child's like, and you're like, hey, I'm your dad's friend. And it's like, and you're like, yeah, I never feel comfortable around babies. But when they make you hold it, I'm like, don't do this to me. Why am I doing this? You know? Because if you're someone like me, there's a second where the baby is like looking at you like, are you a dipshit? And I don't know how to fool the baby with my eyes of like, no, I have a lot of kids of my own. Like, if the baby looks into my soul, the baby's like, you don't know what you're doing. I'm going to fucking call you out. And it's like, meh. And then you're like, why did you make me do this? Why did everyone make me do this? This is such bullshit. You goaded me. But it's, yeah, I shouldn't be holding a little baby. Anything that if I drop it, its life ends, let's not do this. Does that sound fair? Fucking stranger like me coming over to your house because you had a baby, having 5 glasses of champagne, and then you're like, you should hold it. It's like, do you hate it? Are you trying to rid yourselves of it? Because then, yes, I'll hold it. But it's not worth it. Nobody benefits. The baby's never like, I remember when I met Gareth when I was 4 months old. It's like, no, it doesn't happen. Why do I have to be there? Why are we doing this? Or you got to bring a gift too? There you go. I got the fucking thing. Oh my God, mittens. You're like, hey, what the fuck do you give a thing that's not real yet? I don't know. You know? But yeah, it's always very strange. But the tiny baby, no, not good. No. If it still has the little things on its hand, I should not be holding it. It's just that simple. I mean, you know how you know what kind of babies I'd hold? The ones that have to wear the helmets because their heads get flat. They get like the flat top and back because they're like, oh, this feels good. And then they're like, great, your baby's got a square head. Give it a helmet. Those are the babies I'd hold. Helmeted babies, right? Maybe throw some elbow pads on it. That's a kid I'll hold. This is the kind of kid I want to hold. I want a baby that looks like it's about to do roller derby without the skates. Give me that baby. I'll hold that baby. Fuck yeah. Bubble wrap the thing. Give me that. The Emperor's New Groove? I don't even know what the fuck that means. I'm guessing it's like, I don't know. I mean, I could take this 85 different ways. I mean, part of me feels like this is a Trump, this is an allusion to Trump, but no, it's a song. It's a what? Oh, it's a Disney movie. Great suggestion, whoever threw this one out here. Great stuff. So, you know what? Why don't I just talk about babies with weird heads again? The Emperor's New Groove? I don't know what the Emperor's New Groove is. I don't know. I don't know a lot of Disney movies. Again, I am a grown man who does not have children. The fact that I know what Soul is a fucking miracle. You're not going to be able to dig deep enough to find me the Emperor's New Groove. Like, what am I going to Emperor's New... Oh, my God, the Emperor's New Groove. I love it. I love the Emperor's New Groove. Have you seen... Can you believe that they got her? You believe that? Isn't that crazy? Oh, and the animation. Oh, I love the Emperor's New Groove. Ah, they got those two little... Oh, it's the one with the sloth people. The little sloths. I know what it is. No, it's not that one. See? Fuck you. Why did you do this to me, whoever you are? My Wiki page. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about my Wiki page. It is the Wild West out there. I don't know. I remember like a year ago, someone's like, you don't have a Wiki page. And Dave does. Don't you hate that? And I was like, I could give a shit. And then like 3 weeks ago, someone's like, have you seen your Wiki page? And I was like, this is what I didn't want. Yeah. I mean, what is the point of a Wiki page? It's just where people go to see, like, who's trying to ruin you? Is that what it is? Because so far, that's all I can really tell. That anyone can go there, anyone can just edit it, and that's how it is. And that's why on mine, I'm listed as a SEAL trainer with a Packer tattoo. You know, it's one of those things you just, like, as you go through an existence where some people like you and you don't know people directly who like you, they have these games they play, and they can be very funny. And I do find it all very funny, but it's amazing the different levels of ways to access humor in these situations. But yeah, I don't know what to tell you. We should not call it my Wiki page. It's your Wiki page. How's your Wiki page? If I have to say Wiki again, you know when you say a word a few times and then you're like, you have no more meaning to me. Wiki. Now it's just like, what am I saying? You know my Wiki page? My Wiki? What? I was on my Wiki page. We should figure out a better way to say Wiki. Listen to me. I can't fucking say that word again. Wiki. My head's going to pop. Cheating on tests. This is great. Yes, I was a known cheater on tests. My brain was medically too small to hold all the facts. So I had to cheat sometimes. Now, there were a few ways you could cheat. My favorite way, cheat off of someone. That's the best way. Cheat off the smart kid, that was the best way. You know, I had a pretty good deal at one time with Chris Bowen, who I went to school with. He would let me cheat off him till his junior year. He started seeing the same psychiatrist as I did, and apparently the psychiatrist told him letting me cheat off of him was not a good idea. So I remember one day right before a test, I was like, hey, man, don't forget, right arm up when you write, right arm high, high, high. And he was like, you can't cheat off me anymore. I was like, well, it would have been good to have this conversation before the test instead of right before the fucking goddamn test that I'm about to fail. And then I did. So that was the number one. Number two best way to cheat was, a little cheat sheet. Some kind of cheat sheet, something like that. But that was risky. Evidence. You don't want evidence. That's what you didn't want, was evidence. But that was the other way to do it. Best way to do it? The best way to do it was this. Best way to do it? Be sick on the day of the test. Because then you got to make it up. And when you got to make it up, these teachers are busy. They'll be like, here, go to my office. I'll come in every now and then, take the test. Then you could really just cheat. Unless, of course, it was algebra or math, because when I was in high school, they made you get this big, dumb fuck calculator, the TI-85, and you could just enter a bunch of stuff in there, so then you'd go to the test and be like, let me just go back. It was basically like, let me have a phone during a test. So I just go back and be like, that's right. That's what a 90-degree angle is, So there were multiple ways to cheat on tests. And then sometimes I would actually do the work. And that felt like I was cheating myself. The more you know. Oh, Werner Herzog buying condoms? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. For my Werner Herzog. Excuse me, miss. Yes, what can I help you with today? My name is Werner Herzog. Okay, well, there's a little bit of a line behind you, so what do you need? I want to buy condoms. Okay, what variety are you after? Ribbed for her pleasure. Ribbed for her pleasure. Okay, well, we have these little blue Durexes right here. No. Okay, no? What will they leave her feeling like? There's a line behind you, so I don't know if I really have time. Do you specialize in condoms for men whose penises don't get hard? Okay, this is over. This is an interaction that is ending, that a transaction that is not actually starting. Do you ever feel like putting on a condom and wearing it when there's nothing going on? Your penis is still limp, but it sits inside your pants all day, and you have the condom wrapped around your penis even though you're not going to use it to have sex. It feels like some latex is hugging your cock all day. Nope, never. I don't have a cock, so I don't know what to tell you. That's the feeling of love for me. All right, we are open 24 hours a day. We are going to close. We are closing down for a little while. We're going to actually shut based on what is happening here. It fills you with darkness. Well, it should be filled with cum. Anyway, we'll see you later. Okay, bye. So there you go. Werner Herzog buying rubbers. Murder Mystery Theater. This is great. I used to do Murder Mystery Theater on a boat. How about that? I did when I went to college in Boston. We used to do murder mystery boat cruises. And let me explain to you what well, first of all, Murder Mystery Theater, always very weird, right? It's always very, I remember when I used to go to like dinner theater, like, one time I went and saw, in Minnesota, I went and saw the Phantom of the Opera on like a theater tour when I was in high school. I went and saw the Phantom of the Opera, and like, it was on a very small stage, and the cast were your waiters. So they would like take 3 breaks, and like the waiters would come over and like, like the Phantom was just like, without his mask, was like, do you want French or ranch dressing? I was like, you're the Phantom. He was like, yeah, I know. What kind of fucking dressing, you little asshole? And then meanwhile, like 10 minutes later, he's on stage like, I can't. I was like, my waiter is really fucking passionate. See if you can flag him down. I want more breadsticks. But so the murder mystery boat cruises I used to do, they were in Boston. And basically it was all you could eat, all you could drink, and you got a murder mystery. So for the most part, the mystery was always who threw up all over the bathroom, because these people would get fucking shit-railed. Look, open bar, Boston, Harbor, these people were fucking loaded, right? And the whole thing was, like, I played this, like, hippie character for the most part, and then you'd be getting investigated by these hammered people, these hammered Boston people. So I'd be like, yeah, man, I'm not going to tell you what happened, man. He'd be like, dude, let me fucking talk to you, man to fucking man. I'd be like, oh, God. When you could smell, like, just Jägermeister and cigarettes on someone's breath so hard that it's, like, punching you in the mouth, So how come you were the fucking guy who sang the fucking song earlier, But then after that, you wasn't even talking to the captain anymore. I think you fucking did it. I was like, hey, man, I didn't do it. He's like, yeah, you fucking did, you know? And then like 10 minutes later, I'd like look over and he'd be making out with his wife and have her tit out. And I'd be like, well, is this really an investigative ride? It feels like people aren't trying to solve this crime anymore. And they would get so fucking drunk. And the truth is, it was nonsense. Like, you'd reveal at the end the clues. Nobody ever got it, you know? If they did, they guessed. Nobody ever got it right. You know, at the end, you'd be like, because that guy had a salt shaker that he left on the beach. But when you met that guy earlier, he had sand on his shoes. He's the murderer. And people would just be so drunk, like, oh, that's fucking crazy. You know? But I'd make $100 a boat ride. 3 hours out. I got to eat too. Never got to get drunk. But that was the deal. So yeah, murder mystery theater is weird. Anything where you're like talking to the actors is very strange. I always find that strange. I used to do a lot of like theater, and I would always find that very strange when I would do theater. Going to live theater, there's something about it that like you can ruin the world so easily. I don't know. That's like a very powerful ability to have. You know what I mean? Like 2 actors up on stage like, well, then why don't you answer me, Ophelia? Where did you put the book? And she's like, I'm not going to do this anymore. No, Peter, no. You know, and I could just go up there and like shove her face and then just like push him on the couch and kick the book and be like, it's not real. That's just quite a power. It's heavy as the head. Doom scrolling. Yeah, doom scrolling. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, you know, I think we're all addicted to how dog shit everything is right now. How can you not be? You're like invested in it because it's like a part of our society. So it's like, oh, well, if we're going to get killed by domestic terrorists, I guess I'd like to know about it. But then there's also something amazing about not knowing, you know, what's going on, right? I remember when we did a dollop once, Dave told me about how nobody knew anyone like within a quarter mile was your world. And you literally didn't know anything that happened outside of a quarter mile. And like, I think the first time I heard that, I was probably like, that sucks. Now I hear that, I'm like, God, I would love that. I would love that. To just have my world be a quarter of a mile and never have any clue what anyone is doing anywhere, you know? I would like that. But it's true. You do get addicted to it. There's no way to not get addicted to like kind of scrolling through the phone over and over, you know, like just seeing negative shit. It's why like I just am not good at Twitter and interacting or you know, I throw out jokes and a point every now and then someone will just, you know, I just don't like fighting. I don't enjoy it. So like Twitter's a shitty place because like someone will be like, you're a fucking idiot. And it's not like I'm like, fuck you. I'm like, it hurts. But yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? I think, you know, you want to be as informed as possible, but you've also got to remember that these are apps that are designed to keep you looking at them. So, you know, if you stop looking at them, you're probably doing better. No. TikTok dances. Yeah. You know, there's not a lot of times where I feel real old. Like, for the most part, I feel like, you know, I kind of know what's going on a little bit. TikTok dancing, like, when I've been around my niece, that's when I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is happening anymore, you know? I don't know. It's just, it is one of those things to me where I'm like, you guys are wasting your lives, you know? But I'm like, that's what you're supposed to say when you're old, so just don't say that shit. But it's just always funny. People are like, you know? And I'm just like, what the fuck? So she's doing it like her? I don't understand, you know? So it's like my base understanding of TikTok is so little. It's like, if you were to like be like, Gareth, what is TikTok? I'd be like, TikTok is a Chinese app that they're spying on us with, where men and women who are a little bit younger enjoy dancing and then mimicking the dance. And then everyone will mimic the dance, and then everybody does the dance. Final answer, that's what TikTok is, right? But, yeah, I don't know. I really have no fucking clue. I mean, it's fun. Sure, it's fun to learn a dance, you know? Sure. I did Pippin, You think I don't like learning a dance? I love a dance. I was man 4 in Pippin. Chorus member 9 in Pippin, okay? I love to dance. But yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, I don't get most, like, Twitter thoughts. I get that. You know, you want to hear people's thoughts. You want to express your thoughts. I get that. Instagram, pictures, you know, sometimes good pictures. Most of the time, it's just people like, hey, it's my head again. You know, that's pretty much all that Instagram's become. You know, like LinkedIn. What I want to see TikTok and LinkedIn fight, and only one can survive. I'm sick of both of them. You know, LinkedIn, I still get email requests from people that I thought were normal human beings being like, Bradley Sharp would like to connect on LinkedIn. You're like, well, Bradley Sharp can go fuck himself. You know, but that TikTok dancing feels very, you know, like the other version where I'm like, it's a foreign land. It's a foreign world to me. Do not understand it. The good news is, this is what just went through my head. Jose is so close for tonight's grabbing that it's exciting. He's so asleep. It's very sad what I'm going to do to him, but it's great. Okay. All right. Who would be your one phone call? Ooh. Probably my brother. My brother's really smart. My brother just like knows how to handle life. Like I would say my brother is good at life, whereas I'm not good at life, you know? Where like someone's like, you didn't do your taxes, get on it. I'm like, I can't. I'm a little boy in a man's body. Stop calling me. You know, I always feel like that about myself. Like I'm a Toys R Us kid. That's what I was raised on. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. There's a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. From bikes to trains to video games, the greatest store there is. I don't want to grow up because if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid. I feel like that excuse should still work for me. Like, I feel like I should be in a court of law, and they'll be like, you owe $18,000 in back taxes. I'll be like, Your Honor, I'm a Toys R Us kid. I'm not meant for this world. I'm a little boy. Nobody ever explained it. The amount of times where I try to get away with that excuse to people, well, nobody told me I had to. And they're like, yeah, well, you have a business, so you have to. I'm like, but nobody mentioned it at the business department, you know? But yeah, my brother like really knows how to handle his shit. You know, I used to work construction for my brother all the time. And there were multiple times. I remember one time I was going to be like a super low point. I was I'd given my notice at my apartment because I couldn't afford it any longer. And a friend of mine was going to let me live at his place pretty much for free. He was on the road a lot, and he's like, you can live at my place for free because you are poor. And I was like, great. And then my car was dying. My Honda was dying. And so I was trying to drive my Honda to the Honda dealership to get him to take a look at it. It wasn't going to make it. So on the way to the Honda dealership, my car, I'm like in first gear going like 50 miles an hour. It's just not happening. Call Honda. They send a tow truck driver. Tow truck driver comes and gets me. He's towing me. As he's towing me, my friend calls me and goes, hey, man, just so you know, you can't stay at my place anymore. So I was like, okay. So my car's fucked. I don't have an apartment anymore, and I have no money to pay for what is going to happen to my car. Call my brother. My brother's like, you can work it off for me. I'll loan you the money. We'll do just like smart decisions like that. Meanwhile, when I would work for my brother, I would do shit all the time that was terrible and cost him money. Like, you know, I would just like, I would have to hang drywall and I'd cut it wrong, or I'd have to tile and I'd be like, so I fucked up 4 of the tiles and we need a new box, you know. The best one was one time I had to take his truck, and I was leaving this house we were working on, and I took his truck and I drove over the table saw with his truck. So the table saw went into his truck tire. And so essentially in one move, I'd ruined a $500 table saw and made it so that his truck tire was fucked, and I couldn't leave to go do the thing I was in a rush to go do. But he's just a competent grown-up. He's a competent individual, competent man. So my one phone call would be my brother. Final answer. Thank you. And that's it. That's it for this week. Thank you, everybody, for checking it out. Thank you for all the suggestions. Like I said, we got the Dollop Show next Thursday evening, 21st, Looped Live tickets. After that, on the 28th, the following Thursday, there's an Avail comedy show, which we did one of those recently. They're very funny, great comedians. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button. Yeah, and if you want merch or anything like that, you can find all that shit at my website, GarethReynolds.com. I'll be back here on Instagram and YouTube next week, but Wednesday next week. Wednesday, not Thursday. Please send in some suggestions. Do your thing. Miss you. Love you. Mean it. Oh, Jose, I almost forgot the best fucking part. The reason we all do this. I'm sorry. Uh-oh. It's not going well. Ow. Let's not fight. Let's not bite. Let's be pals again soon. It's not right, no, to feel spite, no. That's all right, my baby boy. Don't worry, there's nothing to fear. Just stick right here. Okay. Goodbye. Let's have one more try. We did it. We hit some speed bumps, but we stuck with it. And we came to do what we didn't. And I don't care what you're thinking. It's cool that we're back again. We tried at first and you said no, so I decided not to let you go. My little baby boy, my little man. Ah, look at that fucking tail going. It's like Indiana Jones's whip. Alright, now we try to get out of this. Here you go. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Take care. I'm gonna get mauled by this being. Love you. Mean it.